All right, let's talk about it. Is Airbnb still worth it in 2025? Because if you've been reading the headlines or scrolling through host forums, you've probably seen a lot of doom and gloom. Hosts complaining about fewer bookings, higher costs, more regulations, some even saying short-term rentals are dead. But here's the real story. The game has changed. Yes, but for those who are playing it smart, Airbnb is very much alive. Look, gone are the days when you could just toss a mattress in a spare room, snap a few iPhone photos, and throw it up on Airbnb and rake in the dough. That worked maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Not anymore. The STR game is maturing. It's more competitive. It's more professional. But that doesn't mean it's not profitable. It just means you've got to be strategic. Let's start with what's actually changed. For one, the number of listings has exploded. There has been substantial growth, so there's more competition, more listings, trying to rank on the same platform. Then there has been the regulation wave. If you're in Arizona like me, you've probably felt this. Cities like Scottsdale now require registration, emergency contacts, and liability insurance. Tucson, while generally STR friendly, still requires compliance with broader state laws. Sedona has gone even further, implementing stricter permit rules and limiting ADU usage for short-term rentals. And yes, that can be frustrating, but it also creates opportunity. When casual hosts drop out of the game, serious investors can step in and dominate the game. Let's take Sedona, for example. It's a top tourist destination, but hotel inventory is limited. If you own a compliant, high-quality STR, you're often one of just a few real options for guests. That scarcity creates pricing power and drives higher occupancy. Now add to that rising guest expectations. Today's traveler isn't just looking for a bed. They want the full experience, fast Wi-Fi, spotless spaces, self-check-in, great design, a stocked kitchen, a local guidebook. If your place doesn't deliver, guests will find one that does. This is where the top performers are really pulling ahead. They're not just giving guests a place to stay, they're creating a stay worth remembering. Hosts are partnering with local businesses for exclusive discounts, providing personal touches like welcome baskets or custom recommendations, and treating every stay as a 5-star opportunity. So is it worth it? Absolutely, if you treat it like a business. The best hosts I see in 2025 are leaning into tech and data. They're using tools like Price Labs or Wheelhouse for dynamic pricing. So they're not leaving money on the table. They're analyzing markets with AirDNA before they buy. They're automating everything they can, guest messaging, check-ins, turnovers, because that frees up time to scale or optimize. And they're not guessing. They're tracking key metrics like occupancy rates, average daily rates, RevPAR, and profit per stay. They understand their numbers. They optimize their calendar. They adjust for seasonality. This isn't a hobby for them. It's a numbers-driven business. They're also nailing the branding. If your Airbnb doesn't have a vibe, it's going to get buried. You need a theme, a story, something that connects emotionally. Is it a desert escape for couples? A family-friendly retreat with bunk beds and board games? A stylish workation spot for remote workers? Whatever it is, lean in all the way. Use that theme in your decor, your photos, your listing title, and description. Make it obvious. And don't sleep on design. Professional photos, smart staging, even things like color palettes and lighting can make a massive difference in bookings. You don't have to go luxury, but you do have to go thoughtful. A great example, I recently toured a 2-bedroom Airbnb in Flagstaff that was booked solid for 6 months. Nothing crazy fancy, but it had a cohesive Forge Lodge theme, cozy vibes, board games, and a s'mores kit by the fire pit. It was memorable. It was review worthy, and that's what guests want. Then there's location strategy. Everyone rushes into the obvious places, downtown Phoenix, Old Town Scottsdale, but some of the best deals right now, they're in Flagstaff, Tucson, Sedona, places that still draw year-round tourism but haven't hit saturation. If you can find a property with unique features, near attractions, with lenient regulations, you're golden. Also consider diversifying your rental types. Midterm stays are huge right now. Think traveling nurses, remote workers, snowbirds. These guests book for 30 plus days. They're low maintenance and they often pay better than short-term guests over the long run. Don't underestimate corporate travel either. Business travelers want high quality, turnkey spaces. If you can meet their needs, think fast internet, a dedicated workspace, quiet surroundings. You can carve out a niche with reliable repeat guests. Let's talk money for a second. In Arizona markets like Bisbee are still showing gross rental yields above 8%. While every property is different and returns depend on how well you run your operation, I'm still seeing many STRs in this region producing 15 to 30% cash on cash returns. These aren't pipe dreams, they're performance-based results from investors who treat this like a business. They're also building systems, cleaning teams, maintenance contacts, local managers. So they're not just putting out fires every weekend. This is how you build a portfolio, not just a side hustle. And here's a little silver lining. A lot of casual hosts are quitting. Rising rates, stricter rules, lower margins, they're tapping out. That opens the door for you. You can scoop up properties at better prices. You can take over listings with existing revenue history. You can build a brand while others retreat. So if you're asking me if Airbnb is still worth it in 2025, here's my answer. It's not the easy money it once was, but it is still darn good money for the right investor. But only if you're ready to treat it like a real business. That means doing the research, using the tools, delivering a killer guest experience, and constantly improving. If that sounds like your game plan, you are on the right track. I drop videos every week breaking down what's working right now in the short-term rental space, especially here in Arizona. If you're an investor looking for smart buys, management strategies, or exit plans, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you want to talk one-on-one about a deal, a market, or how to get started, the link to book a free consult with me is in the description. Thanks for watching, and go out and build something great.